We have all seen images of terrorists training in distant lands. This kind of thing's going on right here at home, however. They are not branches of al-Qaeda either. They are right-wing extremists with lots of guns and a bit of an axe to grind against the U.S. government. We have an in-depth report on the growing threat from these militias, and Brian Todd is joining us with much more on that. Brian, what can you tell us?
Well, Catherine, in the 1990s, you'll remember they were blamed for espousing the ideology put into practice by the Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh. Now, a new report claims anti-government militias inside the United States could be making a comeback. A posting on YouTube attributed to the Ohio militia.
Listen, people, things are bad. Things are real bad. And it's going to get a lot worse. So basically, you people need to wake up, start buying some of these, see?
The video is an example of how militias are making a comeback, according to a new report from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
We're at a very worrying moment, in my view. We're seeing a kind of perfect storm of factors that favors the continued growth of this movement. We're talking about non-white immigration, a black president, an economy that is in very dire straits.
A Homeland Security assessment in April said recent arrests indicate the emergence of small, well-armed extremist groups in some rural areas. How dangerous are they?
It's a number of groups, almost far too numerous to mention, regrettably so. But some of them, indeed, want to do what happened in Oklahoma City, that is, commit violent acts within the homeland.
The government's intelligence assessment said lone wolves and small terrorist cells embracing violent right-wing extremist ideology are the most dangerous domestic terrorism threat in the United States. A leader of the Michigan militia told us members of established militias like his, which do training on firearms and first aid, shouldn't be lumped in with violent extremists who talk about mounting attacks.
That's not something that we want to tolerate. We're not going to let any innocent Americans get hurt.
He described their ideology as pro-freedom and pro-constitution, not anti-government.
I don't mean to suggest that all of these people out there with these kinds of ideas are killers. I think that's absolutely and clearly not true. But does this movement produce people who engage in criminal actions, and sometimes really terrifying one? I think that's unquestionable.
Several high-profile criminal suspects have been linked to racist or right-wing ideology recently. The alleged shooter of 3 Pittsburgh police officers killed in April, the man charged with killing a Kansas abortion doctor in May, and the alleged gunman at the Holocaust Museum in Washington in June. The election of the first African-American president is serving as an extremist recruiting tool, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Law enforcement sources tell CNN while Barack Obama had a significant number of threats during his campaign, since his swearing in, it's not been much different from previous presidents. Still, a former Secret Service agent tells us,
I think the historical nature of this presidency is certainly something the Secret Service and the whole country is aware of.
Now, neither of these two reports mentioned left-wing extremists, but a January Homeland Security Department report focused on cyber attacks by left-wing groups, and law enforcement has charged environmental extremists who have committed arson attacks. Catherine?
And I understand that the Southern Poverty Law Center also has a report about some gun sales as well. Can you tell us more about that?
That's right. The report says that gun sales are up from last year, but gun rights advocates say what that reflects is a worry among law-abiding gun owners that Washington, meaning this administration and this Democratic Congress, could tighten up gun laws in the United States.
Very interesting, Brian. Thank you so much. Brian Todd.
Thank you.